Yeah, so the reliable agent, yes, I don't have our platform running, but I have it looking pretty nice. I actually like it, which I don't often do. So it does run quite nicely in the test environment. The issues are getting it working well in Fly. These are not insurmountable things. They turn out to be quite hard to point the agents at because they cross so many domains. It's like browser, web traffic, proxying, authentication, SSL certs, Fly.io, Docker containers, multiple apps, Linux terminals, process management like process trees in Linux, lock files, NFS. Like it's the most full stack thing I've ever done. Actually, when I step back a minute and think about it, so the bot doesn't do well at it unless it's narrowed down. But this thing is coming momentarily. Like I can run happily run arbitrary demos for you. Like like this starts up clean, right? And I can send commands in, commands out of this is Codex running like
And
nicely.
does it where are we at with the permanence of storing it inside of a repo?
We are not there, but that is easy
Okay.
because it's
And
the hard bit is getting the structure up, and once the structure's up, it stays the same, and then it's just feature, and the bots can work on isolated pieces.
yeah,
It's the everything all at once working is the issue right now. Um,
yeah. So on that, basically, it's a place to. It's like an SSD. It's like, right, I've done this. Boom.
Yeah,
Just
so
that.
it'll follow that model we spoke about, where each agent has its own branch, and then that branch, when it's finished, it commits, and then there's like a project manager that merges it, or you can look at it, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
And where we're at with uh, bot threads talking to other bot threads and authorizing them to, do work and burn tokens on something that inside of
authorizing, what do
Argmax.
you mean authorizing? Because right now, if you got spoken to by a bot, you are authorized.
Ah, you said that last time. Yes, sorry.
Do you
Um,
want it authorized? Like you want?
no, I mean, I want a bot to talk to a bot saying, "Do this work for me on my behalf," and then tell me when you're done.
Yep. So that is not working today, but the structure of it is in there. I have demonstrated that feature in isolation in the past, and it is easy to do once I get all this stuff working together. So all those bits, they work in their individual silos in test code, and they all hang together with that architecture I drew you that picture for you of.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
That looks good. The
Yeah.
the
Yeah. It looks
time
good.
delay has been dealing with Linux process management, cleaning up processes, sending process signals like sigterm, sighup, sigint, like those kind of things, which you'd think I
Yeah.
should know well, but I kind of only knew.
Man, I don't even know what SIGINT is.
Well, so in
I
the
think I'm
raw
quite
middle.
technical. I'm not. I'm about half as technical as you, but
The thing
I've
is
never
that
even heard of it.
when when you write in a language, the language kind of wraps you in this nice warm fuzzy blanket, and it deals with the concepts of computing sort of under the hood. But when you're in Linux, you have to
Oh,
deal.
is it like a signal? I know about signals.
Well, POSIX processes, right? Which Linux didn't even invent. This is just Unix invented these things, and the concepts of a process. Processes take a array of about 16 different signals, and that's how they communicate with each other. So the signals are like die now or interrupt or die please.
Okay, now I get it, because
Yeah,
way back when was hitting the hardware on the SNES. It's like that's what you're dealing with.
yeah, signals, right? And that's
And you have
basically
to go down to that level.
yeah, that's what
Okay.
I've been dealing with. That's what I got to deal with.
Okay.
Because the agents have to spin up these things in these isolated processes, because we need to maintain the integrity of the top level layer of the agent that manages the permissions.
Yeah.
So anyway, it has been deep. So I had to sort of take a step back and then try and actually do it properly, rather than just trying to, like, how they say, vibe code your way to the demo. I had to actually think about it, and now I have a collection of modules that I have hand reviewed, that I feel like the design is quite good. It's actually my understanding that is the bottleneck. So I feel like I have to understand it before I can really use it, because otherwise it's been just blowing apart when I don't understand it and I let Codex do it. Because Codex isn't doing so well because it's got these multiple disciplines in there that are kind of crossing, and Codex never seems to have the right idea, no matter how much I've tried to prompt it.
Yeah, it's not a prompting thing, is it? I said last time, I'll not go back through it, but I'm getting a similar thing in the Norse space.
It's also like a
You
concept
get
thing.
so far, but you just
Yeah, it literally has no concept of the kind of programming I'm trying to do, because oh no, please, no. Oh, the aircon. It's run out of battery. I'm gonna die. Oh no. Shit.
Yeah, that sounds alarming. Please don't die. That'll be. Well, I don't know.
It'd be great for me.
What to do with myself next? It's like, fuck.
Yeah, it would be great for me. Where do the batteries go even? Oh,
it's your handsets.
No. It's like I'm in a room with aircon that I can't turn it on, and there's like beads of sweat coming down my brow, which is about to fuck with the headset, and that's the problem.
Man, I'm shivering my bollocks off here.
Well, would you like to swap?
Yeah, but only for 5 minutes.
You can be either sweating your bollocks off or shivering your bollocks off. You can choose. Nope, I'm just going to have to endure. All right, so...
do you need it like a 2-minute go and sort the aircon out thing?
I can no, because I'm not sure that I can. I don't know how to get the battery going.
Right.
Anyway,
okay.
It's fine.
Take your coat and put it over your...
What?
No, that's wrong.
That's the wrong direction.
Northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
Strip down to your pants.
Okay. So
Right.
the real sort of point I was trying to get at is that we've picked a unit that we like, and I think that we can write it for like a good part of this curve. We're going to be writing this same model. That's really that's what I wanted to say to you.
Yes, but what am I supposed to say? This curve, just to check your thinking, that's a model curve, not an architecture curve.
Correct.
So the two might be different, and I don't know what they're gonna be. I haven't seen any research to look at this, but architecture is likely to follow a different curve. In increasing tensile strength on a steel girder does not dictate how high a structure is going to get.
Yeah, so these curves I think are amplified as agentic swarm strategies come into play. Because
can I ask you something? Sorry. This has been playing on my mind. Do you think agentic has got legs, or is it going to be wiped out?
No, I think it's all there is. I think it's all that remains.
I agree, but I've been starting to doubt myself in that when something close to AGI gets there, it's like internally you've got router and so on, and you don't know what is going on inside there.
No, but that's just what our system looks like to the outside. Like, that's just what an agentic system presents as. You think that it's just one agent, but it's what's behind the scenes that matters. And we are working with behind the scenes.
All right. Okay.
It's
I
just
want to check that.
Yeah.
That's my view as well.
Well, my view is that agentic is where all the money goes. Like, that's where we place the bets, because we can't do models. We're not model guys. But if we bet hard on agentic, then that's the next. It's the most powerful part, because you're the user. Like, you're not the blacksmith. You're the sword swinger. But the agentic nature that's what programming is now. Just like there was like strategies and patterns and processes to write programs when object-oriented came out and all that.
I agree, and I've been testing out that hypothesis for the last 6 months or so by calling it architecture. And the analogy is you build a building, and you've got bricks and you've got the laws behind it, and so on. But the architect is the one that makes it into the Sydney Opera House.
Right.
That is the piece that I think is going to be the last to fall, if it ever does fall. I don't think it ever will.
It won't fall. It won't fall. It's like saying that, molecules are good until they're not. It's like that's sort of just where everything ends up. The other part of the puzzle is private context. So that's the part.
You're quite quiet. I don't know if it's me.
I'm quiet.
Volume up to max. I don't know.
You sure? I'm on max as well.
I can hear you. You just like quite quiet. Doesn't matter. No deal.
Okay. Your volume's on as much as it can go?
Yeah, it's maxed out.
Maybe take it down and then back up. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let's try
that. Yeah.
Okay, oh, okay. Yeah.
Who knows hardware, huh?
All right. Don't know why that is, but okay, good. All right.
It's because of this, like, the state of max is different to the state of partial volume. And if you come off max, you cause the state machine to toggle.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's a neat trick. Okay.
So right. the agentic pattern is kind of what I'm saying is where we gotta put all our bets, because that's where the game is. It's quite tricky to get that right, and we can get a lot of our score is the model multiplier. Like, if we run a particular benchmark using our agentic patterns, we ought to get some multiple over whatever the latest model is.
Yes, I agree with that. There's one other thing as well, is about utility. Do you get something useful for something really quite complex that you've asked? It's a bit like walking into number 1 Canada House, or whatever it's called, Canada Square, and it's like there's been a lot of effort in this tower, and I can get up and get to my seat. I don't really care about where all the tension and torsion's gone. I don't care about material science that's got into it and so on. But I just want to get up there. And so utility, I think, is also another thing to measure on. The agentic piece is like the individual pieces of number one Canada Square. The utility is, are there enough lifts to get me to my desk in time to, not get chewed out by our erstwhile chairman? You see, there's two things there. It's not just the background.
Yeah, I get it. What you're saying doesn't add anything for me. In a
All right.
polite way, I get what
Oh,
you.
yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just, it's good to get it on, so I can listen to myself talking about that and take a note. So the agentic part is the architecture part.
I think the best word is topology. Because
Topology says something different though, doesn't it? Topology.
all right, anyway,
Sorry.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the two major bets: private data,
Uh-huh.
which implies trustworthy AI, and agentic design. And those are actually the only bets that we have to play. But
Yeah. Okay.
right, those are the only bets on the table, in my opinion. They're also the ones that we are placing just by virtue of the momentum we carry from.
Okay. Can you expand on both of those, just one level deep?
So the agentic unit was maybe the most interesting breakthrough to me, in that we realized that you can, if you expand what a unit of computing is to be, like the UI, the interface, a dedicated container, a virtual machine, including like a CPU, some disks, some RAM, and an AI that's driving it and doing stuff with it, then that unit is surprisingly nice to build a computer out of. And so there are some grounding or stabilizing or longevity properties about that choice, because for a time, all of the harnessed products, and by harness, it's appearing that the model is maybe 60-70% of the goodness, but there's about 30% worth of having a good harness. And the Codex CLI, the Gemini CLI, and the Claude CLI represent that recognition of the terminal CLI being a superior harness to run the model in, with which you can get superior results in many benchmarks.
Yes, agree.
Right?
Agree.
And so what I believe the stabilizing safety for us is, for a time, these interfaces will continue to be produced for the human to consume, which means that we can hook it easily and make it be an agent that gets spoken to by another agent as though it was talking to a person, using the agent communication protocol, which is just plain text. And then for as long as these companies see value in producing human consumable CLIs, we're good. And then we get an extra multiplier because we have this topography type of a system that lets you have these things in arrangements that we have to get good at real fast, because we have childish ideas about how to structure and arrange and architect solutions using these things, and we need to get amongst it real quick and understand some of the patterns that pop up there, because that's where all the intellect goes now.
Okay, my thoughts on that are deploying the tool in order to leverage what we've got, but also I was really taken by what you're saying about the limits of using the tool in Codex 4 calls ago.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be important. So there's that sliver at the top that we need to get good at. We can assume that if we bootstrap uh, even a single agent and then get to think about what would be the agentic structure of this and what would you need and how would you prompt that, very quickly we would get to the point where you're at with the code,
No.
where you're,
I know what you're saying, but I
yeah,
I believe there is a significant journey to be taken there. You will find the point that I got to with the code is like, you know, tens of thousands of hours worth of effort away on the agentic front. Like you, you're just not going to hit it. And out from under you, all these new models are going to keep coming out too. So, plus there
well,
will be all these new strategies about how to do it. Like, I guess what I'm trying to impart is my belief is that agentic programming is the boom. Like that's what the boom is. How the fluff you arrange these components to do productive work is everything. Like it's hard. There's so many ways that you can do it. There's
yeah,
no fix, right? A model is sort of like a fix, but it's also an iterative thing and its interface stays the same. It's just its intelligence gets better, but the agentic patterns are like the combinations are
yes,
just explosive.
yes, yes, yes. And that was in a half-hour's way when I've been talking to these guys with problems. Uh, I've been talking to them around. I think it's and kick the shit out of this idea if it's not right. But I've been talking about it as agentic architecture. And
It's
I'll not go
close
back.
enough. Yeah, it's close enough. Like it's it's more like we almost need to set up some agents to catalog all the possible patterns of agents and then benchmark them for certain tasks. Like there's
Right, right.
like how you have in programming you have all these little like these little structures you make all the time over and over that are like neat little tricks, like a like like a double-ended queue or like a idempotent call function, a queue that absorbs that has at most one element in it. Like
Right, right.
absorb
Yeah,
like all those different structures are good for different things. And
yeah.
so we need to just like rip out into that space because that space has never been needed before. It was never a
There's
thing,
never a thing. Yeah.
right? And now it's suddenly a thing. It's like org charts on steroids, like mathematically defining org charts for
So,
agents.
I think we're on the same page there. I believe. Do you think the same?
I think that we are on the same page in terms of the concept. I do not believe we are on the same page in terms of the urgency and the depth that I'm seeing and the weight that I'm placing on architecture. This
Um,
architecture, like
but
it's alarming.
the architecture is the thing. Um, and I was saying I've been testing out that concept with real people, and uh, they uh, they don't get it. I mean, they're still doing individual boxes. One agent talks to another. It's like no, no, it's much more complex than that. They're building a hut instead of building a skyscraper. The thing I was going to say though is maybe you were asking the other time, what do we do next? I would float an idea here that actually we attack problems asymmetrically. We simply solve problems. So we talk to people. We don't. we don't ask for contracts, we don't ask for all that kind of thing, because decision making at the board level is really slow, and they don't understand the urgency of it and so on. But understanding the problems is really, really important. But with the tools we've got, we could probably solve the problems. Here's a week, and we solved OSINT, or here's a week and we solved payroll, or whatever. But in doing so, we're not solving it for them. We're actually exploring the space of what an AI architecture should do and getting the patterns right, because we don't know. We've got an idea. We could probably give a
Yeah.
ham-fisted shot of it.
So the
So
most important thing
filtering that.
for us seems to be to insert the ambient attribution piece in there. So patterns that support ambient attribution or that are designed to enhance the utility of ambient attribution, like, problem funnels, solution funnels, refinement pipelines that bubble up ideas, passive extraction of problems, passive delivery of solutions, those
Right.
kinds of, they're like meta programming issues. They're saying, like, you just come and use the thing, and we'll have these agents that figure out in the background how to solve your problem, and then you'll get rewarded for just causing problems.
So here is the problem I'm having with ambient attribution, and I've been talking to businesses and individuals for 18 months about this being a real thing. Individuals love it. Organizations go, we don't need that. We want to just own everything. We want to hire people and so on. And so the adoption of it is not going to be as smooth as we'd hoped.
No, it's going to be better than we'd hoped. We are going to attack those people because we will, at very least, have 1,000 times the intellect of the company.
Yeah,
And we'll have it real fast, man. And the only thing left to do is wipe them out. Like, I'm not.
No. I'm agreeing with you, but from a different direction. In talking to the companies, they come up with problems. It's like, we want to, do OSINT in order to keep our, blah blah blah, all that kind of thing. That's interesting. We can solve that much faster.
I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I think that the problems. It seems unreliable, actually. I know that I was asking for, hey, what are we doing? But to not have the tool to discover what we should do seems a waste of time. Like, we can guess at it, but what we really should be doing is pointing the tooling at solving that problem, because we'll just have more information.
Yeah. We're very close, I think. But what I'm saying is, in order to hone the tool, you need to use the tool.
We will have an almost unlimited amount of use just from our own stuff.
Oh, yeah. And all we need to do is harvest problems, stick them in attribution, and use the tool in order to solve them. And then by doing that, we get an idea of how to architect these things. Because it's really quick. I mean, just the other day, used this in a kind of really shitty way to solve a problem for something that Marla was doing, and I honestly spent an hour on it, and it had taken, they hadn't solved it in 6 months.
That's cool, but there's so much more of that coming. And so, like, we got these issues where we got, like, human level problems. When you walk down the street, no one really knows what's happening here with these curves, right? We know there's a curve. Everyone else thinks it's still flat,
Yeah,
right?
everyone's just worrying about it
Yeah,
or
and then
ignoring
they
it.
don't know
Yeah.
about, like, we know that there's structure forming. It's like there's been a massive upheaval in the oceans. New land has appeared. It's called agent patterns, never before seen,
Yeah.
and we need to get amongst it like real fast. And
Um, I'm, sorry to interrupt, but just for the avoidance of doubt, I'm totally with you on the patterns. The patterns are the
yeah, the
thing.
patterns. But the issue is our human lives are getting in the way, and it feels like a weird spot to be in where you're like, this, if we miss this, like we
No,
will
there's
kick ourselves for eternity about it because we were sitting in church listening to organ playing opera singers. Like,
yeah.
what a stupid thing to lose for.
There's we're not going to get another one. Um,
Yeah, so I think I messily have, this a window to really push on it. I don't know what to do about your situation, um, but it feels like we'll get this tool. I will keep going at it around the clock to get this thing up and running, and then we're in pattern hunting territory.
yes, yeah, yeah.
But ambient attribution feels critical because we end up with something that's kind of powerful, but it's not that it's like massively powerful. It's that it's a little bit ahead of everyone
Hmm.
else in the group, right? And so
Uh,
immediately everyone looks at us and they're like, "Oh, those guys." And then it's like, "Well, how do we get paid?" Or we want to do this stuff, or what's in it for me? And we've got the same issue where we're like, "Well, we want to get paid too, so we ain't gonna just solve your problems for free." So that's why ambient attribution actually comes to the forefront, probably on day one, and that's why I'm thinking we should just stick to our guns and just keep working on getting a crude version of ambient attribution up in agent pattern land. So it's like instead of instead of saying like we used to that it was ambient attribution for your physical world actions or ambient attribution for your code commits, we're now saying it's ambient attribution for your agentic pattern uh,
yeah,
contributions.
yeah, yeah. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. So making
Um,
ambient attribution that can recognize when you've developed a pattern, which means we also need a store that you can publish the pattern in, and a way for others to discover it. So we've got like, Claude's got these new skills things that are like apps. We got ChatGPT with these little appity things. We're gonna have patterns, and you're like, here's a store full of all these patterns. They're gonna look cool because they'll be like drawn nicely with fucking graphs and things, and you can watch them move around as they solve a problem. But our store is the pattern store, it seems.
right, right. And you can go in and say, I want to do X, never been done before.
Yeah,
And the AI says, what you want is Y and Z. If you combine those two, then you're going to get
yeah,
close.
yeah. And so it actually helps work with you to define patterns that will hit what you want. Now, sometimes you hit the middle and you got to make a piece of code. Okay, fine, we
Right.
can help with that. But overall, patterns is a really interesting subject because it kind of is going to always be plain text and pictures because you can't, like, it is a level of abstraction that is not code. It is always going to be a graph.
Okay. I was surprised by pictures there. I was expecting it to be all plain text, but okay.
It's pictures, and it like that thing you love about that graph database that you draw
Yeah.
nodes and edges in. Like that's how you represent patterns.
Give me a sec. Yes. So if we, all right, that's not all attribution, but that is our contribution to attribution to get everyone else doing all the spot instances of I want this solved. And it's like, well, I'll take this, take that, Lego bricks, right?
Mm.
I want to build a
But
house.
I guess making them easily reshareable, like those pattern. No one's talked about making patterns as a shareable item, but we are, and that's the thing that we start with. We start
Well,
as the pattern store.
yeah. Um, okay, so take a step back. Is patterns going to be subsumed into the layer into tier one? Um,
No, patterns is
no,
forever.
I don't think so as well. I don't think so
Patterns is
because
forever.
there's the search space is too large, isn't it?
Well, it's also like it's it's always there too. You know,
Mm.
like it's never. There's always the unit, and the unit has to be done by tier one. End of story. And then
Yeah,
once tier one produces it, you can't help but have it as a unit. Like
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
nature.
No, I agree. So tier one is the foundry,
And
and
so
how
tier
we.
two really becomes the a mixture of the harnesses that you give the model, like little bits of pre-done code, although less and less I see, less and less actual code, but and that code should stabilize because it's logarithmic in nature. Like as the number of problems goes up linearly, the number of code units you need to solve all those problems is logarithmic. And
Mhm.
so the code snippets stabilizes. So that's actually a dead duck. There's no need to focus on code libraries for AI agents because there'll be this standard library that's sort of like everyone will notice it's not changing much. It's like, well, we sort of got all the code that we need. But patterns feels like it's almost exponential. It's the other way.
It's was infinite, isn't it? Because the
It's
amount of code
worse
can
than that.
be worse than that.
Worse than infinite because it's like the number of ways that you can solve the same problem with different patterns is
Yeah.
also massive. Whereas the number of ways you can solve the problem with code,
Mm.
and you'll arrive at roughly the same thing. You're like, well, it's got a cyclomatic complexity of blah blah blah. It takes this many cycles to run, but agents are also influenced heavily by the frickin' models themselves. Like the biggest influencer on the effectiveness of a pattern is the model underneath it. The second biggest thing, which is maybe 10-20% of it, is the harness. And now the harness stays the same. The harness stabilizes because what the fuck else is it going to be? But the model keeps moving, which is why the patterns are very dynamic. And that's why patterns is a good bet.
Which is why you're called it topography.
Yeah, it's only the arrangement that matters. The prompting and the arrangement defines what the thing that you're publishing is, and
So
its
so we're not
utility.
publishing apps. We're publishing patterns.
Yeah. Swarms, teams.
It's like you want to do something like this, something like
Mm,
that, and you
mm.
don't even have to go into some kind of app store and say, "I'd like one of those, one of those, one of those."
Nah,
You
because it's
go,
very
you go,
fluid and it
yeah,
adapts as you go. Like it's very quickly, softly recombined. It's just that we're saying that out there somewhere, we know for sure that the majority of tasks are going to be repeats or similarities to tasks that have been seen elsewhere. What that means is that there is an optimal pattern or a pattern that has scored the highest for the current range of models and your different cost constraints, speed constraints, whatever. And so by reusing that pattern, you will score significantly better in the utility, the quality of your output at the task. And it's the reuse of the pattern because the pattern is softer than the code. The pattern is still natural language. It's just saying it's more like a strategy. It's like here's
and
sort of how you do it. Here's what we learned.
not all patterns are the same. Some may be a local minima, there might be a better one, and so on. And so the usage of those patterns gives us a really nice hook into attribution. It's like you come up with a pattern and it's used That we can say because previously we were trying to figure out what is the hook into attribution. Years back, we were running a line of code, and that seemed a bit lame, but we ran with it
Yeah,
because we didn't have
it
anything
did
else.
seem lame, but I didn't want to say because we didn't have anything else. I was like,
Yeah,
man, we don't.
but if you use a pattern, um, then that is something substantial because it is um, the AI has decided, okay, I want a bit of this and a bit of that pattern, I'm going to put this into a process, and that process is quite a long process and it's a valuable process. Each lump of pattern, the actual code generated is like de minimis. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. You could get Codex to generate the code, and yeah, okay, so you're going to get to 98%, and then someone's going to have to step in maybe. But the main thing is the architecture, the pattern of it, and that also leads to, given the number of the patterns available, I'm going to have I don't know, this is a wrong word for it, but a meta pattern. It's like take this, take that, and you get this. And now you get something quite powerful very, very, very quickly.
Well, it's soft. It's like softer than software, even.
Yeah. And so,
All right, so there's that. So I feel like you get what I mean now.
yeah. Not only that, but just noting, I think we've got conversion of this one because I've been thinking not as clearly as this discussion has been. I've been thinking about this as architecture, but essentially architecture is patterns. It's different because architecture sounds like how do you build this skyscraper?
But you're
But
going over.
we're
You're going over it again. Like it feels like you're in wonder at a thing, and you're not
no,
making progress on it. But
I'm so sorry. This is just I'm compiling.
yeah, that's
But
cool.
yes, yeah. So yeah, the it's different from architecture because architecture is for all right. I want this building, but the means to make that are invariant, but can be they are fungible because stuff may change. You might get a stronger steel. You might get a stronger model. Right. Okay. Thank you. That was purely for my headspace. Thank you.
All right.
So
So
right, we're on the same. I think we're
the
on the
same
same
page.
page.
Yep.
Okay.
Patterns.
Yeah.
So we launched with that, and now we're slightly ahead, which is sort of what we want to get attraction towards our style of platform. Then
So, sorry, go on. I've got a point to make, but you go.
I want to get away from the platform. I think we've covered that bit.
No. I was going to raise again the second thing. There's the platform, and then there's the interaction with it. Is the discovery and so on. Is
I think that all
utility.
bundles up. Like you can't have a platform these days without that cross pollination or that dissemination of the intellect within it. But the other area that we got to push on is this confidential computing thing, because that seems to be, we know that confidential context is the thing that makes the biggest difference in the quality and the utility of the output that you have. And
also is sometimes mandated, so you can't get around that.
yeah, so what to do, right? So everything looks good to go with confidential computing and a marketplace for buying that, because the agent model works remarkably well in that environment. It's the right sized cell or the right sized stone to use to build that system, and the Coco works out great for it by, I want to say by chance, but by whatever, it just so happens that it perfectly aligns.
by
with the cocoa.
circumstance, yeah, they just happened to have back in July agreed on cocoa, and we can ride that wave. And I agree.
Mm.
It ticks many boxes of the big players, the banks and the oil and gas guys and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I guess what about is everything that we've spoken about so far publishable?
Yes.
Okay. Do you still want to keep the other items unpublishable, the ones that we want to talk about? I'll stop this recording and flick.
No, I don't
I'll
have
stop it.
anything that's
I'll stop it,
unpublishable.
and then we can
No, it's